Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Socially Distant, where the only thing we have to fear is that bitch down in Florida, Carol Baskin. I am your host.
Jesus fucking Christ. God damn it. God damn it. I know you cooked that up, and I could see in your eyes when you had it, like in your head, because I was just like,
it was literally right before we started to record.
Yes, perfect.
I am your host, Alex Weber, and as always, we got him here, because where else is he going to be?
Right? Scrimmy. My name is Scrimmy.
Scrimmy?
Scrimmy?
Scrimmage with the Scrimmy?
My name is Scrimmy.
Yeah, Scrimmy, yeah.
I feel like a guy named Scrimmy, he gonna talk like a way this or what?
Yeah.
And he'd turn everything he says, even if it's a statement, to a question. Like, Scrimmy, what's your favorite color? Is your favorite color so blue and some what? Huh? And yeah, that would be Scrimmy. I think Scrimmy would be naturally a grifter.
We can get Scrimmy on the show.
Give me like a couple days to flush out Scrimmy.
Sure. You gotta flush him out of your system.
Yep.
So before we get started, I'm just gonna keep the shout out train rolling.
Yep.
We'll give a shout out to our good friends Reagan Murphy.
Yay.
And Jamie or Coco, as
Jamie
I know him.
Griffin.
Reagan had sent me a Snapchat. They had the episode 7.
Yeah, she sent me the same one.
Yeah, on the TV. So that was super cool. So thank you for listening. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jamie, for, I saw in the video you had your hands in your pants as well, so thank you for that as well.
I know. Well, I mean, that's really the only reason why we do this podcast, to give Jamie some material, you know.
Right, material for the mental spank bank.
Hey, you need to build interest in these trying times, you know.
I could just imagine Jamie just sitting there, Cowboy Richie. I got kicked out of those Franco queers.
He put jazz underneath Richie reading poetry.
Shit, it's fucking Allen Ginsberg.
So to back away from that graphic visual, we can quickly, I guess, discuss yesterday's episode. I liked it. I thought it came out pretty good. I feel like it was fun too. I feel like we should have a poetry break in every episode. Yeah, I do like that, and you know, obviously just the poems on their own are really nice, but I'm super glad you had the idea of throwing in some jazz underneath.
Oh, yep.
Because that was fun. It sounded cool, and
that was a lot of fun. I could even pick out a poem to read today.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little inside the actor's studio.
You want to do some Sylvia Plath? Or do you want to do Snodgrass?
Is that what was your character's name?
Scrimmy?
Scrimmy? Is that Scrimmy's brother? Snodgrass?
My name's Scrimmy. This is my brother Snodgrass or what? And Snodgrass is like exactly like Scrimmy, but just like a posh Brit.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm Snodgrass.
Susie Crabgrass?
Susie Crabgrass, dude.
Could you imagine actually having a last name as Crabgrass? That would be terrible.
That would be awful, because you know what? Like, Crabgrass is unwanted, you know what I mean? So it's like, where do we go from there?
Yeah.
You know?
You only go down. So, how you doing today, Richie? What's up with you?
I'm doing pretty good. I worked.
Nice.
And now I'm here.
Nice.
How about you?
Yeah, so,
how was your first official day of furlough? Clink!
So here's the thing about that. When I was on the phone with my boss yesterday, he said, you know, there still might be some quick things that you can wrap up this week before we, like, technically can't ask you to work anymore.
Yep.
But I think even, like, kind of, like, on the down low, they can still ask me to do some quick shit if they really wanted to. But so I took that as, okay, so you might throw me a bone every once in a while to do some stuff, but I'm going to be just chilling here. And then he said, oh, yeah, well, we have this person who needs these 2 PowerPoint decks done, like, by the end of the week. So that's, like, a priority. We need to get that done this week. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Yep.
I have a little Google form that my coworkers can fill out when they have a creative request, and they just put in the information, attach any files.
Yep.
And it just dumps it into a spreadsheet so I could track all of these things.
Oh, perfect.
And so this person who works for my company put him in 2 requests for 2 decks last night, one of them being at like 9:20, so I didn't see it until, this afternoon.
This morning, yep.
And so I found it weird because I was like, when I got up in the morning, I had like a lot of people emailing me about doing stuff quickly. And I'm like, this is kind of weird for someone who's like, I guess technically not supposed to be working.
Exactly.
But I'm sure they're just trying to get it all out of the way before the end of the week. And so I got like a lot. Like out of all the days that I've been working from home, this is the most that I've gotten like stuff to do.
Oh, wow.
It's just funny because of course it's the day after I get told that I'm going to be out of work until, middle of May.
They don't know when they need you.
Yeah.
Until they need you.
So I was like, well, it's kind of weird, but I mean, some of this stuff's pretty easy. I can knock it out. And then I was getting ready to make dinner.
Yep.
And usually, like when I'm doing work from home stuff, I still call it at 5 and then go and make dinner. Just sort of because I schedule everything out. And I was like, oh, let me just check my work email, see if anyone sent me any like Google Hangout chats while I wasn't looking at it. And I got like 2 for like 3 things to do, and one of them was like, hey, can I get this done tonight? And it was just dropping a logo into something, so super easy. So I did that while I was eating, actually.
Oh, wow, nice. Good for you.
But then I was looking at the creative requests for the 2 decks that this person sent in, and they said that they were like, oh yeah, ideally I'd like this by the 31st. And I looked up at the date, and I'm like, oh, that's today. So I was like, let me just give you a status update tomorrow morning, i.e., I didn't realize you needed this today. I thought it was the end of the week, so oops. And so I'm thinking, like, this is all going pretty crazy for someone who's not supposed to be working. And then it hit me when I was talking to my boss. He was like, yeah, so you'll get paid tomorrow, so today. And I did get paid this morning.
Yeah.
Which was just under what I needed for rent. If they would have given me like $50 more, I would have been just like, all right, perfect. I don't care. Just that's great. But that's all fine. And he was like, yeah, then we'll pay you like a stipend, like a one-time stipend. And then on the 15th of April, we'll pay you for like 5 days. And I was like, okay, that's weird. Like, that's kind of random, but like, sure. And I just thought they were going to pay me for 5 days as like I don't know, some thing.
You think that would be the stipend?
Yeah, or maybe it's just like some formality thing. But then I'm like, wait a minute.
Exactly.
They want me to work on stuff through the end of the week. That 5 days pay is probably like this week. And I was like, shit, I'm supposed to still be like actually working for the rest of the week. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. Yesterday and today, I have been a lazy fuck.
Oh, damn.
Like, I admittedly really haven't been like mentally all there for work, but I mean, I still did stuff this morning, still did stuff tonight. I have a lot of shit I got to do tomorrow, but like, it's just funny because for like 24 or maybe like 36 hours, I was just like, yeah, no, this is cool, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta do shit. So
exactly.
I mean, but to be fair, the world is in a fucking pile of shit right now, so if I wanted to take 36 hours and have like a depression nap, I think I could.
Yep, I feel like you definitely have the ability to. I feel like everybody should bring back like what Lennon did and have a bed in. Like, seriously, like not like I'm trying to make a joke of it, like have a bed in.
Yeah.
Like for health or something, you know what I mean? Just stay in bed for a day.
Dude, honestly, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. On that Saturday, I went for a hike, so, like, got my exercise in.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sunday, I literally spent maybe, like, 96% of the entire day in bed. I just didn't do
the
anything.
4% was on the toilet.
It was either, like, on the toilet or in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was great, and I was like, wow, this is like the laziest I've ever been, but I'm like, this is so nice just to like lay here and not worry about anything. So
right? Yeah, I should do that. one of these weekend days, just do nothing.
Yeah. Like, imagine there's no deadlines, Richie. It's easy if you try.
It's easy if you try.
Oh my god. I still can't believe that they did that video, which already seems so long ago.
What video?
The Imagine video that I never actually watched.
Oh god, yeah, oh man, that was stupid. That was so stupid. If you've ever have you seen Chris Cornell's take on it? No, Chris Cornell, Charles Cornell.
I was gonna say, isn't Chris Cornell dead?
Yeah, sorry guys.
Imagine
Charles
there's
Cornell.
no heaven. Chris Cornell's not there.
Oh, imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. Chris Cornell is not there. Above us only sky.
Oh Jesus.
But yeah, Charles Cornell, the famous piano meme guy.
Oh, okay.
He did like a take like trying to track how the keys changed. It's so weird.
Oh, that's funny.
It's like, okay, it's up another full step. Now it's up another full step?
I have to watch that 'cause that's interesting. Because one thing that I was like noticing a lot when I was listening to that, and I was like, yo, if they were doing this and their singing voices were actually good, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so just like, whew.
Yeah, like
It's
we
so
get it.
forced and just like monotone.
I miss We Are the World. Dude, what the fuck happened to We Are the World, We Are the Children, dude? Just bring that shit back.
Yo, do you want to bring back We Are the World?
Dude, let's bring back We Are the World, but just find like random people. Here's a man we found on the street. We are the world.
I found this guy at the Hyde Park commuter rail station, and he's gonna
We
be our
are the
vocal
world.
league.
Hey, you want to come with us? We're gonna record a song. Awesome. Let's do it.
Ooh.
That could actually be pretty funny.
I guarantee you, if like you pitched it the right way to people and was like, "Hey, we're doing this as just like a fun thing,"
Yeah.
just go all out for it. We could easily make a better sing-along video than that Imagine video.
Yep. And I bet we could even write like a better sing-along song.
Oh.
You know what we could do? Get a bunch of people and do Give Peace a Chance.
Ooh, that could be.
It's
fun.
the easiest thing to sing along to.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Right? Get a bunch of people, crowd a bunch of people on Boston Common.
Well, not right now, clearly.
Yeah, in the summertime when the weather's hot. But you know what I mean? And just have people start doing all we are saying. And just have one guy there with like a really long beard and an Asian lady also just standing next to him. So, wait, did you end up watching The Ruddles?
No, I didn't. I'm going to after this though. I was
Ooh,
thinking about it before.
Cause there's some really good jokes that they make about John Lennon.
Good.
The whole thing. Really good stuff. If you I just saw another video too. It was the Rutland weekend special. So it was like basically like here's a one-time special that we did with like Neil Innes, Eric Idle, comedy stuff like that in the US. George Harrison was supposed to be like the closer
Yeah.
of the night, and he's supposed to start doing My Sweet Lord.
Ooh.
But
I
like,
love that
so the
song.
band starts the intro, and right as it gets to start, he goes, "I want to be a pirate, a pirate's life on me." It starts doing like this pirate song, and then somehow the band, like that's with them, is just like, "All right, I guess we're doing the pirate song."
That's
and so
awesome.
then dancers come out, and he does like a full pirate song.
Oh my god.
It's great.
Please,
You gotta watch. I'll send you the
please
link.
send that to me.
I wanna be a pirate, pirate's life for me.
Do we just speaking while we're talking on like Beatles and Beatles related things? Do we just want to
Yeah.
take a quick second to appreciate the audible orgasm that is the Dirty Mac version of
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
Yeah.
I also pulled that up last night as well.
oh my
of
god,
Your Blues.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It's
It's
so
amazing.
good.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
And like even
right?
the studio version of that song is incredible because
Yeah, it's
I
one of
was-
my favorite Beatles songs.
I was reading about it, and again, that's that's the White Album, so that's like
Yeah.
that's late Beatles.
Yeah.
And so clearly they were doing a lot of like multi-tracking, like different recordings and shit by then.
Number 9.
And so
9.
yeah.
Number 9.
But when they did
buried
when they did Your Blues, apparently they all got together in like a small single room and recorded it live. So like kind of how they used to do
damn.
it. And like you listen to it after hearing or after learning that, and you're like, oh, I could totally feel it. And there was one time where I was listening to it and it was super late at night, so there was no extra sound. The volume was just right,
Mm-hmm.
and you can like hear like just like ambient noise from inside the studio in the recordings.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I was just like, yo, I feel like I'm fucking there, because like you just catch on to these little things, or like these little like a squeak from a drum, and you're just like, yo,
I feel like I'm Ringo's nutsack. Sitting on his little drum throne while they're fucking playing the fucking Beatles, mate. Fuck yeah. You ever take a wank and listen to Revolution?
Oh, I shall do that.
Oh yeah, she'll do that. Sweet Loretta Martin thought she was a woman, but she was another man.
We gotta watch Yellow Submarine together one time.
We do. We definitely have to watch Yellow Submarine.
I love that movie so much.
And we gotta watch Help.
Yes.
Together. Help.
I mean, if we're doing that, we might as well watch A Hard Day's Night too.
Right? Just have a Beatles marathon and just do all three.
Ooh, I do.
Who's that? It's Paul's grandfather.
Oh, we're just good friends. That is actually one of my good friends. I don't think he listens to the show, but I'm gonna shout him out anyway. Brendan Callery, Newtown High School, homie.
Shout out.
We used to always like play acoustic Beatles songs together, and this was in like middle school, high school, and we loved watching A Hard Day's Night. And whenever it would get to that part where they're just like, "Do you see your father much?" and he's like, "No, we're just good friends," we quoted that. I quoted that to him 3 days ago. Like,
oh shit!
Like it's
awesome.
Constant inside joke. I love that movie.
One of my favorite gags is when they drown the chef in the soup.
Yeah.
And isn't that right? Funny murder. No, but then they serve the soup to the Beatles, and there's like glasses and shit like in it, and someone goes, and John pulls out a like a ticket. What's this? And Ring goes, looks like a season ticket. And then John's like, oh, I love a bit of seasoning in my soup, and just like dips it in, like steeps it.
Yeah,
he's like, oh, great.
The comedy, and that's really good. Do you have them?
Huh?
Because I have the DVDs for both Hard Day's Night and Help. So
I had the DVD for Help, but I'm not sure where it went. A Hard Day's Night. I mean, I'm on my buddy's Criterion Collection login. Shout out to Ben Milo, for that. So I watched that, and I personally have never seen Yellow Submarine. Oh,
really? Well, I mean, it's interesting because the Beatles actually aren't in it until like the very end, where they have a cameo. Yeah. Despite the fact that they're the main characters, they have like other people doing the voices.
Oh damn, that's stupid.
No, like, Richie, you are not allowed to watch this movie unless I am there, because like it is something else. It is ridiculous. It's psychedelic. It's silly. It's fun. The animation's amazing. The visuals are like ridiculous. I think you would really dig it.
Guys, dating in quarantine is fine. You just take charge during every conversation you have.
So yeah.
You're not watching that until I'm there. Yes, sir, Mr. Gray. Fucking A, dude. Keep me under lock and key on this fucking thing.
I put you in double quarantine, baby. You can't even watch a movie.
Oh, dude, you just sounded like fucking Bruce. What's the guy from Ash from Evil Dead?
Oh my god, I totally hear that.
What is it? Give me some sugar, baby.
Give me some sugar, baby. I can't do it again. See, that was one.
Maybe, baby. Maybe, baby.
Hey, baby.
Hey, baby, what are you doing there? Hey.
Hey, yo, Marie. Hey, baby, what you doing? Hey. Oh.
Hey, look at me. Hey, you gotta go to New York. You gotta buy a watch.
Okay.
You gotta go to New York, buy a watch.
So, there is a diner called 50s Diner. It's in Dedham. Oh, you know the place where we went to dinner with my parents?
Oh, is it there?
It's behind the Whole Foods. So it's like there's that main shopping center, and then it's like kind of behind that. So you get there the same way. But it's, your typical diner.
Yep.
And when my friend, not our college friend Elena, but my other friend Elena came up and hung out for a weekend a couple weeks ago, we went there. And first of all, she had gotten a Belgian waffle with like over easy eggs on top of it.
Oof. Oh.
This waffle, dude, I have never had a waffle as perfect. And of course, now I can't go there until May 4th or whenever the fuck they open up again.
Exactly.
But so when we were trying to find parking there, I was talking in my stupid Italian accent and being like, "Hey, where's the fucking parking? Hey, whoa, whoa."
Yeah.
And then I pulled around in a corner. I'm like, "Oh, what's this?" And I saw an open parking spot right there, and I just went, "Hey, oh!" And it wasn't even a joke. It was like that was legitimately my response to seeing this parking spot. And it was so funny because I was like, "Oh."
I'm gonna call you like Spats.
Spats, okay.
Spats McKenzie. But yeah, there's one of my favorite like 50s places is at Disney's Hollywood Studios in Orlando, Florida.
Ooh.
It's the 50s Primetime Cafe. So when you're taking a full day walking around Disney World and you think, what's for lunch? How about a nice big old plate of meatloaf? How about a nice big old plate of fried chicken like Mama made? But that was fun because I dragged all of my friends when we went senior year to do it. And honestly, we had the most fun. Your waiters and waitresses you call them like mom or dad.
Oh my God.
And they serve you. So we had a mom, thank God, because I would have gotten overwhelmed with daddy jokes.
Yeah, right.
Just coming into my head. And then
it's like, "Can I have the sweet tea, daddy?"
Right? But it's cool because like as you wait for your food, they give you a game to play on the table, and we had to come up with like as many Disney movies with one word that we knew.
Yeah.
So, and it's cool because like they do that. Like Disney has now made waiting fun, which is awesome. Dude, yeah, right for Disney. Bob Iger, actually, shout out to Bob Iger for foregoing a salary right now, so his employees can still be paid through this whole crisis.
What does he do? Who is he?
He is the current CEO of Disney.
Oh wow, and he just cut his salary?
Yeah,
entirely.
He's going without a salary. I mean, when you're the CEO of Disney, you can live without one now.
You got money in the bank. You could take some time off.
Exactly.
That is super cool though. I respect that hardcore.
Yeah.
And I mean, it would be a lot nicer if other companies did that, where their higher ups could take either a pay cut or, not take their salaries, so that they could continue to pay their standard level staff workers, so they don't have to furlough them or fire them. And that's not even a shot at what happened to me, because my company's handling it beautifully, so no salt on my end. But overall, I'm sure there's companies that people in certain positions could definitely take a pay cut or cut their salary entirely just to keep people at least working.
Exactly, and I feel like it's funny that late stage capitalism is now showing who cares more about money than people.
Yeah, dude, holy shit.
Because right, you can have your whole life and say it, and then not. I'm gonna call out Truckee supermarkets right now.
Yeah.
Because they are not doing enough to keep their employees safe.
Really?
They're a supermarket chain in the Northeast, and
yeah, you used to work there, right?
Yeah, I used to work there, so shout out to that. And they decided to put plexiglass in front of cashiers, make them wear gloves.
Yeah, Stop and Shop.
No plexiglass in front of customer service desk workers.
Huh.
Right, exactly. So I don't know why they're not doing that.
Yeah.
And now they have guidelines where they want all cashiers to wash their hands every 15 minutes.
Whoa.
You're a cashier. You don't have time to wash your hands every 15 minutes.
Yeah, especially if it's I don't think it would be crowded, but if it was crowded, then you can't do that.
Exactly. And they want change of gloves almost every 15 minutes, and it's really, why you don't care about all your employees if you only care about the some.
Yeah. Or
some of them. So it's come on, really? And then they go and ask the general manager to increase morale. So
everyone here gets a trip to Disney.
Right. I mean, honestly, I'd take a trip to Disney, but this is if you could just, instead of giving a letter to all your employees about how you value them, give them a $25 gift card to the store.
Just be
help them relieve at least $25 worth of groceries for the week. You know what I mean? It's do that for them, help them out, but don't just blow them off because they're employees.
It sucks because and this is definitely crazy because we're all working from home right now.
Yep.
And then people who work retail and grocery stores,
or
anyone who's considered essential, and I would assume that if you're working at a grocery store, you're not getting a hefty salary, a yearly salary. So you need, a little goes a long way. So appreciate your employees, because think of how many people they interact with on a daily basis, and like
especially now,
everything coming.
Everybody's all panic buying and still running out.
So I think honestly, like if they really needed a bone thrown for them, for sure.
Exactly.
Again, they have to be there because the grocery stores have to stay open, or else we'd be in a fucking shitstorm more than we already are.
Exactly.
So, yeah, there's that.
Cool. I think it's about time for a poetry.
Yeah. What do you
break? Yeah.
What'd you decide?
This is gonna be a longer poem.
Okay.
This is by the poet Mark Strand. It's called "The Story of Our Lives."
Okay.
Just want to make sure it does tell me when the year it came out is. Does not tell me the year it came out. But a little background on Mark Strand before I start. He was born on Prince Edward Island in Canada.
Real quick, what's the poem name again?
The poem is called... The poem that I'll start reading is called "The Story of Our Lives." So this would be a great chance to get some like smooth jazz or something under it. But so he spent time teaching abroad, and started as a poet translator. He won the Pulitzer Prize in '99. So he slips between surreal strangeness and elegance in his work. So I'll just start with "The Story of Our Lives." This poem is dedicated to Howard Moss from Mark Strand. 1. We are reading the story of our lives, which takes place in a room. The room looks out on a street. There is no one there, no sound of anything. The trees are heavy with leaves, the parked cars never move. We keep turning the pages, hoping for something like mercy or change, a black line that would bind us or keep us apart. The way it is, it would seem the book of our lives is empty. The furniture in the room is never shifted, and the rugs become darker each time our shadows pass over them. It is almost as if the room were the world. We sit beside each other on the couch, reading about the couch. We say it is ideal. It is ideal. 2. We are reading the story of our lives as though we were in it, as though we had written it. This comes up again and again. In one of the chapters, I lean back and push the book aside because the book says it is what I am doing. I lean back and begin to write about the book. I write that I wish to move beyond the book, beyond my life into another life. I put the pen down. The book says, he put the pen down and turned and watched her reading the part about herself falling in love. The book is more accurate than we can imagine. I lean back and watch you read about the man across the street. They built a house there, and one day a man walked out of it. You fell in love with him because you knew that he would never visit you, would never know you were waiting. Night after night you would say that he was like me. I lean back and watch you grow older without me. Sunlight falls on your silver hair. The rugs, the furniture seem almost imaginary now. She continued to read. She seemed to consider his absence of no special importance, as someone on a perfect day will consider the weather a failure because it did not change his mind. You narrow your eyes. You have the impulse to close the book, which describes my resistance. How when I lean back I imagine my life without you, imagine moving into another life, another book. It describes your dependence on desire, how the momentary disclosures of purpose make you afraid. The book describes much more than it should. It wants to divide us. 3. This morning I woke and believed there was no more to our lives than the story of our lives. When you disagreed, I pointed to the place in the book where you disagreed. You fell back to sleep and I began to read those mysterious parts you used to guess at while they were being written and lose interest in after they became part of the story. In one of them, cold dresses of moonlight are draped over the chairs in a man's room. He dreams of a woman whose dresses are lost, who sits in a garden and waits. She believes that love is a sacrifice. The part describes her death and she is never named, which is one of the things you could not stand about her. A little later we learn that the dreaming man lives in a new house across the street. This morning after you fell back to sleep, I began to turn pages early in the book. It was like dreaming of childhood. So much seemed to vanish, so much seemed to come to life again. I did not know what to do. The book said, in those moments it was his book, A bleak crown rested uneasily on his head. He was the brief ruler of inner and outer discord, anxious in his own kingdom. 4. Before you woke, I read another part that described your absence and told how you sleep to reverse the progress of your life. I was touched by my own loneliness as I read, knowing that what I feel is often the crude and unsuccessful form of a story that may never be told. I read, and I was moved by a desire to offer myself to the house of your sleep. He wanted to see her naked and vulnerable, to see her in the refuse, the discarded plots of old dreams, the costumes and masks of unattainable states. It was as if he were drawn irresistibly to failure. It was hard to keep reading. I was tired and wanted to give up. The book seemed aware of this. It hinted at changing the subject. I waited for you to wake, not knowing how long I waited, and it seemed that I was no longer reading. I heard the wind passing like a stream of sighs, and I heard the shiver of leaves in the trees outside the window. It would be in the book. Everything would be there. I looked at your face and I read the eyes, the nose, the mouth. 5. If only there were a perfect moment in the book. If only we could live in that moment, we could begin the book again as if we had not written it, as if we were not in it. But the dark approaches to any page are too numerous and the escapes are too narrow. We read through the day. Each page turning is like a candle moving through the mind. Each moment is like a hopeless cause. If only we could stop reading. He never wanted to read another book, and she kept staring into the street. The cars were still there, the deep shade of trees covered them. The shades were drawn in the new house. Maybe the man who lived there, the man she'd loved, was reading the story of another life. She imagined a bare parlor, a cold fireplace, a man sitting writing a letter to a woman who has sacrificed her life for love. If there were a perfect moment in the book, it would be the last. The book never discusses the causes of love. It claims confusion is a necessary good. It never explains. It only reveals. 6. The day goes on. We study at what we remember. We look into the mirror across the room. We cannot bear to be alone. The book goes on. They became silent and did not know how to begin the dialogue which was necessary. It was words that created divisions in the first place, that created loneliness. They waited. They would turn the pages hoping something would happen. They would patch up their lives in secret. Each defeat forgiven because it could not be tested. Each pain rewarded because it was unreal. They did nothing. 7. The book will not survive. We are living proof of that. It is dark outside, in the room, it is darker. I hear your breathing. You are asking me if I am tired, if I want to keep reading. Yes, I am tired. Yes, I want to keep reading. I say yes to everything. You cannot hear me. They sat beside each other on the couch. They were the copies, the tired phantoms of something they had been before. The attitudes they took were jaded. They stared into the book and were horrified by their innocence, their reluctance to give up. They sat beside each other on the couch. They were determined to accept the truth. Whatever it was, they would accept it. The book would have to be written and would have to be read. They are the book, and they are nothing else.
Thank you for that, Richie.
The Book of Our Lives, The Story of Our Lives by Mark Strand to Howard Moss.
That was great. I gotta tell you, man, I think we should definitely have poetry time with Richie be like a normal segment.
I think so as well.
It's super just relaxing, and I love it. Especially just sitting here, like, drinking a glass of wine and just listening to it. It's so just, like, it's me.
Exactly. Let me pull back up that poem again, and let's talk about it just a little bit. I love how Mark Strand he looks at life through a book, and the book is also a character in the narrative itself of the poem, especially how everything is, like, related to a book. There's a great section in here that I want to pull up. I lean back and push the book aside because the book says it is what I am doing.
Mm.
Like how much control do you actually have of your life, and how much of your life is already written for you? I think is a really cool concept in here.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, yep, it's just a poem for you guys to really think about and sit and think about there. Wherever you can maybe do some like little jazz bass lines or something.
Yeah, dude, I was thinking about this today, learning some little jazz riffs and just playing, like recording it over.
Oh, that would be
so
great.
maybe,
I wish I knew how to play jazz.
Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I know, dude, me too. Literally the only reason why I ever started learning guitar in the first place in 7th grade was because I wanted to be in my middle school jazz band.
Oh, nice.
And I somehow thought that I could learn guitar, like pick up a guitar for the first time, take lessons, and then try out for the jazz band. And then I quickly realized that I'm like, I can't fucking do this.
Oh, damn.
Because that's ridiculous to go from not playing an instrument to picking up an instrument specifically to play fucking jazz.
That's actually how I learned drums. So I was
really?
a percussionist in high school, in middle school, in band, and orchestral band. So, well, not orchestra because there's no strings, but you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
School band. And I was percussion. And after my freshman year, the senior who was playing drums in the jazz band graduated. So I basically was asked, "Hey, are you doing anything Monday night? We're gonna need you to sit in for the jazz band." And so I show up and I go. So my band director, who's the incomparable Ed Ledwith, he's an awesome man and a great musician, playing guitar for over 40 years.
Ooh.
Loving it. He teaches me, this is a Latin, and this is a swing. Now it's gonna be variations of each, and figure it out. And I was like, okay, so I kind of had to learn like how to swing and like how to play with brushes, and so that's how I learned drums, was actually being forced into jazz.
That's cool.
I feel like once you have a good theory in jazz, you can go play any genre.
Dude, I know.
Because you'll get the most complex in jazz, and then you just simple it down for what you want to play after.
I really want to learn more jazz, either like guitar or bass, either or.
Yep.
I could probably start with bass.
I'm actually learning jazz chords now on baritone ukulele.
Ooh.
And because it's tuned like the top 4 of a guitar, I'm going to figure out how to then transfer from that to guitar.
Yeah. We should totally watch Whiplash sometime.
Oh, yeah, that would be a fun
movie.
watch.
Fucking, what's the guy's name who's the teacher? Hold on.
Oh, J.K. Simmons?
Oh my
the actor?
God.
Not my tempo.
Holy that man is incredible. And when I saw that movie, I was just like, get the fuck out of here.
Playing the role of the teacher this week is Scrimmy.
Yeah, this is not really quite my tempo. Right? Nah?
Get me Spider-Man.
Do you wanna... do you wanna... Someone's out of tune. I think someone's out of tune. Counts to 4 for me.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, this is Richard. You know what?
Or you could be the Ramones. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Bumping in a straight line. let's put Scrimmy in different roles. Put out like a movie role. I'll put Scrimmy in it.
A Few Good Men.
Is that?
You Can't Handle the Truth.
I want the truth.
Is it just something you can handle or what?
Alright, give me another.
Can we go cross medium? So it doesn't have to be a movie. Could it be anything else?
Yeah.
Hot Ones.
Hot Ones?
Yeah. The show with hotter questions and even hotter wings.
So is the wing in front of you a little hot? Is this a little hot? Why do you put glasses in a wing? Is this something that people do?
The Beatles.
The Beatles?
Yeah. Specifically Ringo Starr.
Guess what your song I wrote is called something about my car.
How come all like the drummers of a band, Beatles had, what's the one that Ringo did? Da 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 da.
Ooh. I need a little bit more than that.
It's a car song, right? Like every drummer of a band has a car song. You know what I mean?
It's not "Baby You Can Drive My Car," right?
No, it's
Okay,
from the White Album.
Oh.
It's
Oh. Hold on.
Don't Pass Me By.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, car. Pass Me By. It's a fucking car.
Yeah.
So he's got a car song. Roger Taylor has a car song. I'm in love with my car. Like, what's up with drummers of bands writing songs about cars?
I don't know, man. All right. So here's a quick. We always keep going. This is like the Beatles edition.
Yeah, it is. We've been talking a lot about the Beatles.
But you know what? That's cool.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Beatles album?
Ooh, so my favorite Beatles album is Revolver.
Their UK studio albums, because they have like the American albums that are like totally different but have the same songs, but like their core collection. What's your favorite?
Revolver.
Okay.
Is my favorite Beatles album.
I totally vibe with that.
Yep. Just the set list of it, the songs that are on it.
The production.
Right, Taxman.
Super good. Yeah.
Eleanor Rigby. You get really so much as like Tomorrow Never Knows.
Yeah.
Here, There, and Everywhere. Just some really Good Day Sunshine.
Yeah. I would honestly like. It's weird because for a long time, Rubber Soul was definitely my favorite, and that still might be like. That honestly might be number one for me. Like that might be my top, but like Revolver was the album right after that. So like Rubber Soul and Revolver are two amazing albums, and I feel like definitely when I was younger and just getting into the Beatles, like I liked a lot of their earlier stuff, with Abbey Road and Let It Be being like their last two albums that I also really enjoyed. But as I got older, I just loved like later Beatles multi-track experimental crazy shit, like, and just getting really into it, which I feel like is the most me thing ever. Just be like, yeah, I'm into like late Beatles, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I like the White Album. I like Revolver.
Yeah, but Revolver's even before Sgt. Pepper.
Yeah.
Before that whole thing, because I think Revolver came out like the year before Sgt. Pepper. The Beatles released basically like starting in like 63 an album a year.
Yeah.
63,
and Revolver,
64, 65.
Revolver was definitely, I think, like they were like, here we go. This is when we're changing shit up.
Exactly.
That's the turning point for them.
Yeah.
In terms of like production and when they stopped touring, or when did they stop touring? Was it around this time? I think.
Basically, Sgt. Pepper was when they stopped touring.
Yeah, the album was the Beatles' final recording project before their retirement as live performers.
Exactly.
Could you that blows my mind, because there's no real bands right now that I think would do that, where they're like, we're not touring, we're just doing studio music.
Exactly. Like whenever I think of the Beatles now, I really go back to our sophomore year of college when Studio 2 came to campus.
Dude, that was such a cool fucking night.
Like that was like one of the only times that I've seen like old music rile up a crowd of college kids.
Dude, they were so good.
And everybody was so into it and dancing and having a good time, and it was just awesome.
And they were super nice. I honestly took some really cool pictures during that show, that I'm really proud of, you know, as a photographer, which is weird because I haven't done photography in a hot minute. But they were playing they're playing at Daryl's house, Daryl Hall.
Oh shit.
So in Pawling, New York, which is it's like an hour away from where I live in Connecticut. My dad's been there over like 100 times since it opened.
Oh wow.
I've been there a couple times. Cool venue. It's like a restaurant and then also like a venue, so you can
that's
go
awesome.
Reserve a table, have dinner, get like an actual dinner served to you, and then be sitting right next to the stage where like a band's gonna play. It's super cool.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
super cool. Honestly, one day we should try to figure something out where we can go to that, because I think you'd dig it.
Exactly. I need to go up to the Catskills.
Yeah.
And go see Woodstock.
Dude, oh my god, yeah. I told you that I went there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Out in Bethel. Oh my god, dude. It was incredible. Like, total, like, religious experience. But really quickly before we could talk about Woodstock in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Studio 2 was actually playing there at Daryl's house in New York, and I was like, hey guys, you played at my college a couple years ago, and I took photos of your set. You know, can I come out and maybe like shoot your set at this show? but I guess they have like a house photographer there. So like the only person allowed to take photos is their house photographer at the venue.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, all right, understandable. It's cool.
Yeah.
But they were super cool about it. And when I did you meet them? You were probably hanging out with them, right?
Yeah, I was hanging out with them because I was the first person to acknowledge that they were wearing Shea Stadium suits, which was awesome.
Yeah, so like when they like took a break and we were like chatting, I was like, these guys are cool. So, Studio 2, great Beatles cover band.
Yeah. I'll have to send you. I discovered another one as I was going through a Beatles rabbit hole last night, of Beatles bands. The Fab Four, I believe, is like the official tribute.
Yeah.
And they have a full set of they have a full 2 sets of music up, that they perform live, and oh man, and they do like so much more. Like while everybody's like, and they actually change their outfits and like the facial hair.
Yeah.
As they progress, so it starts in the beginning as like 64. Da, 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 da.
All the way
and by the end of it,
like
they're
Abbey
doing
Road.
they're doing like Let It Be, Hey Jude, like everything on that stuff and other stuff. But so yeah, they do a really good job as well. But what I really like about Studio 2 is that they are I believe they're pre-Sgt. Pepper. Like, so they cover the Beatles, but right before Sgt.
earlier
Pepper.
Stuff.
Yeah, because I remember them doing like Taxman and
Yeah.
other stuff there, and their George is great.
I definitely took videos of that too.
Yes, you did.
Oh,
you showed me like some cool zooms you were doing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna dig those up later.
Yes, please. Those
while we're still on the Beatles, as we are, before we get into Woodstock, which I'm sure we'll get to, I was thinking about the. Unfortunately, I don't have room at my current apartment for my record player, speakers, and vinyl collection.
Yep.
Because it's over 200 records, so it takes up space. And what started that collection was just like leftover records from my parents that they had kicking around the house.
Same. That's how I started my collection. Like, most of my collection is some of my dad's old records.
And in my collection right now is Meet the Beatles, which is the second album that they released in the United States.
Oh,
so
yes.
You go by, usually with the Beatles, their main catalog is based on their UK releases. And that's all the albums that we know. But when you look into like US and Canada, there's albums that I've never heard of, but they all just have the same songs. It was just a release thing. So that was released in January of 1964. I have an original copy of that from when my mom bought it in 1964.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's super cool.
These are my newest acclamations to mine before I stopped going out. Songs you know by heart, the best of Jimmy Buffett.
Ooh, of course.
Dude, honestly, like, I'm one of those, like, people are like, Jimmy Buffett, you're a fucking loser. And I was like, dude, it's
be a parrot,
fun,
be a
it's just good
Who
music.
cares, you know?
And then, 2 of the B-52's albums. So I got B-52's first album and the B-52's second album, which I believe was Wild Planet.
If you see a faded sign at the side of the road.
Yep, that's not these albums. That one is a Cosmic Thing.
Yeah, Cosmic Thing.
This one has She Came From Planet Claire.
Oh,
and then
that's a good one.
You're living in your own private Idaho. Which is some great stuff on here. Dance This Mess Around. 6060-842. And I'm coming for you. Like, I feel like, did the B-52s ever play CBGBs? I feel like they did. I feel like they must have.
I would assume so.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, great albums. This one still has the original liner, which is great. Like, it has the original, like, granted it's like all ripped on the bottom and the side a little bit, but I'm fine with that. But it's like got all the lyrics and things and just awesome stuff. So yeah, I love finding old records. I found a Ruddles record that I actually gave to my old boss over at Rick's Music World, Rick Santos.
Oh, really?
He is a huge fan of the Beatles, and the Beatles appearing on Ed Sullivan in 64 gave him the inspiration to start a music store and teach music and start a school and everything.
Dude, the Beatles are the reason why my uncle on my mom's side is a musician now.
Right.
And his band, so he was in a band in Connecticut. They were called the Crayons. And I have this. I have a promo picture of them where they're all dressed in like different colors and they're standing with like these massive Crayola crayons of their color.
Oh shit, dude!
So Here's the fucking crazy thing, and this blows my mind. They have like a 4-song EP that was on vinyl that I got from my mom. And there's one song on it that, like, I mean, the songs are good. They sound like kind of like a Cars-ish kind of band.
Okay.
If you like the Cars. Oh, so I have this EP, and I emailed my uncle. I'm like, yo, this song, Naughty Marietta, I really like the guitars. Do you think you could, like, tab it out for me so I could play it? And he mailed me tabs for it that he wrote out by hand.
That's awesome.
And I was doing some, like, YouTube digging and found videos of them playing in, like, the 80s on, like, a local public access show. Dude, I have to send you these. They're insane. They're super 80s, and my uncle is just fucking shredding. Now, here's the thing. In the 70s or 80s or whatever, I don't know how, somehow recorded the jingle for the Subway commercial, like Subway sandwiches.
Ah, shit, dude.
So they recorded the jingle that was played for Subway advertisements, and their bass player, whose name is Don Furtman, went on to being the CFO of Subway. And they did an Undercover Boss episode on this guy, and they flashed the same promo picture of the crayons that I have in my house that shows my uncle.
That is awesome.
So
that's
like,
so cool.
And that's always crazy because I'm like, oh yeah, my uncle was in a band that like did a song for Subway. I've never heard it, but like that's still pretty cool. And they definitely do have like a Cars sound to them, and I fucking love the Cars, so like I'm not complaining.
That's wicked cool. I was just digging through my just my small stack that I have over here, but I have some more scattered throughout. I have the Tom Tom Club.
Oh yeah.
Tina Weymouth's
Talking
side project with Genius of Love, Wordy Rapping Hood. It's on here, which is great.
I need to watch Stop Making Sense again soon.
Dude, I have to again also myself. Yes. Trying to see what else I have down here. One of my favorite records of all time. Arlo Guthrie's Alice's Restaurant.
Yes. Group W Bench. There's actually in New Haven, Connecticut, like a little like, I don't want to call it a hippie store. I feel like that might be kind of like misrepresenting it. But like a store, you know what I mean? Like that, where they have all kinds of cool hip shit.
Yep.
Called Group W Bench. And I went there, this was in fucking high school with like my sophomore year of high school girlfriend at the time. And I told my dad, I was like, yeah, so we went to the store called Group W Bench, and he was like, oh yeah, Alice's Restaurant. And I'm like, the fuck you saying to me? Like, I don't understand. And then I listened to it, and I'm like, oh, yeah. I get it now.
That's exactly what it is. I also have this one that was from my dad's collection, which is weird. It's a really weird record. It's called No Wave, a musical dip into the contemporary sounds a musical dip into the ocean of contemporary sounds. And the cover is just amazing.
Oh my god.
New Wave. And the Roxanne by the Police is on here, but it's got the Stranglers, UK Squeeze, Joe Jackson.
Ooh, yo, Joe Jackson, dude.
Dude,
do you like Joe Jackson?
Dickies. I don't think I've ever listened to Joe Jackson. I might have listened to this record, but my favorite part of this record is this record came out in 78.
Yeah.
So this is basically like, now that's what I call new wave. 78 making transparent blue.
Oh, whoa, that's
vinyl.
sick.
I'm like, oh, dude. Like, I thought that was only for, like, people who shop at Newbury Comics. Or, like, colored vinyl, you know what I mean? But
so,
it's like,
your homework is to listen to an album. Don't say that, because I might be into it.
Yes, Daddy.
Listen to the album I'm the Man by Joe Jackson.
Okay.
It's from 1979. It's totally post-punk new wave.
Oh,
and
shit.
I had it from my dad. So, again, my record collection started off with stuff that was left over from my mom and my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, my dad left a lot of his records at his father's house. And when my grandfather passed away, this was years ago. I was a wee lad. I guess my aunt like sold them or got rid of them, even though they were my dad's records. And he had like Iron Butterflies and Agata Davida which I ended up buying myself. And he was like, I used to have this record, and you would have had it too if my sister didn't get rid of it. And I'm like, I'm not gonna get into this fight, but I wish she didn't get rid of it so I can have it for free.
Exactly.
But so he had this album, Joe Jackson's "I'm the Man," in his thing, and I never listened to it. There's so many albums that I have that I've just never listened to.
Same. Like, I still have so many records that I haven't even gone through.
Like, from my parents, and
Yep.
I listened to it, and I was like, yo, this is cool. This is fun music. Like, it's a good listen.
Just pulled out Toys in the Attic. Toys
Ooh.
in the Attic by Aerosmith. Sweet Emotion, Walk This Way. Big 10-inch record is on here. And then I also, so this is actually going to be my homework for you to listen to all tonight. This is one of my favorite prog bands ever, Gong.
Okay. You mentioned them yesterday, I think.
Yep, Planet Gong, or from the Planet Gong. This is their second album, Camembert Electric. So, and this is before they wrote the Radio Gnome Invisible trilogy. But, yep, so this is that weird band. And I love the back, because the back is their take on the Allman Brothers Fillmore East cover.
Oh,
it's just
cool.
them black and white just standing around.
Yeah.
I think is really cool. And so yeah, it's just I'm trying to remember. So yep, you have the members of the band, Bloom Dido Bodegras, Pit Pile, Three Hats, Robert Wyatt's son Sam, Bert Camembert, Venix Deluxe, Shakti Oni, Space Whisper. So yeah, the woman in this band, she does what's called Space Whisper.
Yeah.
And it's so weird, and that's her instrument, is she plays the Space Whisper.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's that type of just weird shit. Big standout highlight from that album is a song "You Can't Kill Me." Yeah.
So one thing that speaking of records, again, over 200. I have a Word document that I made. I made this years ago, where I wanted to catalog every record that I have.
Oh shit.
And so I have it's like a 6-page list. And the order that the list is going in is the exact order of how they're organized in my house.
Oh shit.
So if I wanted to be like, okay, so the Beatles, so the White Album self-titled, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I go 5 records into my collection, I know the White Album is there.
Yep.
And I just realized I haven't updated this since January 14th, 2018.
Oh, wow.
And at that moment, I was at 226 records between, 33 and a third, LPs, and then, 45 RPM singles.
Yep.
So I need to update this because in that time, I have acquired the 45 RPM single of Tennessee Ernie Ford's 16 Tons.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. I also just acquired, right before I stopped, Third Man Records recreated the Sun Records, like the originals.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so
I heard about that.
I have a 45 of I Walk the Line and Get Rhythm by Johnny Cash.
Sweet.
So, Johnny Cash and the Tennessee 2. So, it's, yeah, and I love it because it's very much like the old, the Sun.
Yeah, dude, I remember learning about Sun Records in, oh, fuck, what was it? I took
Memphis?
a class with DJ Maxim. He was in that class, and I didn't know him at first, but then after I met him, I was like, "Oh, DJ, you're in my fucking history of music class, right?" But it wasn't history of music. I don't know what it was, but our professor Paul Santerre. I don't know if you know Paul Santerre from SNU.
I don't think I've ever had a class with him. The only music class I did take was with Rick Cook.
Rick Cook is cool. I had Rick Cook.
Yeah.
Paul Santerre was fucking awesome. He was a cool dude, and we definitely went over it. We talked about Sun Records, for an entire class. I almost just said an entire episode.
Yeah. Oh shit! I forgot about this one. I don't know why, but it's on a full 33.
Yeah.
But it spins at 45.
Ooh.
So this is a 45 of just Queen, We're the Champions of We Will Rock You. That came out a couple years ago, and I got it because I just love the cover of it.
Yeah.
It's the guy from what's the name of that album? History of the World.
I know.
News of the World.
News of the World. Yeah.
News of the World. Yep. So I just love it, and I like just finding random records and grabbing them, and yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned that it's on like a full size 12-inch, but it spins at 45.
Yep.
I know. I'm trying to think about what it is. My vinyl for Save Rock and Roll by Fall Out Boy, which I will admit I have.
Yeah, I have the same one. Yep, it's
It's
spins
a 10-inch.
at 33. It's a 10-inch, but it spins at 33.
Yeah, that's cool.
The only other record that I have of that is an original pressing of Regatta de Blanc by the Police on a double 10-inch 33s, which is awesome, and it's so much fun. I love it.
That's cool. Yeah, and then just speaking of Fall Out Boy vinyl, like they released this project called Pax Am Days, which was just like, I think the entire EP is like under 15 minutes or less, and it's just like punk, just like punk. Yeah. I'm like, can you guys go back to this, please? But I have that. It's on a two disc, 45. So that's cool.
Fun fact: my dad got into CBGBs once.
Oh, really?
In his life. Yeah, he was just down there and somehow ended up in Patti Smith was headlining that night.
Oh, shit.
And guess who was her opening act?
What?
The Talking Heads.
No, hell.
So my dad saw the Talking Heads open for Patti Smith at CBGB in New York.
That's cool.
Yeah.
One time, our good friend Gabby Ryman from Snoo, her parents both grew up in the New York area. Yep. And so I've heard lots of CBGB stories from her about her parents, and I'm like, why can I not live that life where it's like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna go hang out with the fucking Ramones tonight. Fuck you.
Honestly, same, right? Like, one of my dad's favorite memories is he was in college at Johnson & Wales in the very early 80s, and U2 just released their first album, which I think was like Boy, like their very first album.
Yeah.
And they were doing some college shows in the U.S., and I think they played it Brown. And no one really showed up. It was like my dad and his friend JD, I think, and a couple of other people. And they were just shooting the shit, and the band asked him, like, why don't you guys come hang out at our hotel? So the thing was, they were all 19, 20.
Yeah.
The band. And my dad, of course, was 21 at the time. And my dad had to buy beer for U2 because they were underage.
He bought beer for Bono?
My dad bought beer for Bono.
Holy shit.
My dad has some weird stories.
Dude, I love your dad. I can't wait to hang out with him, hopefully sometime in the near future.
Just yesterday, he was talking to me about his favorite Grateful Dead show, which was in, I think Hartford, Connecticut. Yeah, it was down in Connecticut, and they took his car down, and they were situated like looking down on the whole stadium.
Yeah.
I forget where it was, and so his friend JD, his best friend JD at the time, had like a kind of like a Derby Star Store hat that he was wearing, and he filled it with roses, and they're all broken. And this one random hippie lady just walks by him, and he stops her and pulls the broken rose that fell over, and just handed it to her and going, "This is for you."
Oh my god!
And just started.
Was it at the Meadows? Does that ring a bell?
I'm not sure. I think he saw him at probably like Hartford Stadium or something.
Okay, because there's a place in Hartford now called the Xfinity Center. It used to be called the Meadows. There was like an outdoor part of it. I've been to so many shows there.
That's probably
it's been around.
It's a stadium.
Yeah, there's like an indoor part, and then there's like a lawn part.
That might have been it. I'm not sure.
Or there's the XL Center, which
that's probably where it was.
That's a whole indoor. I saw Roger Waters perform the fucking Wall at the XL Center in Hartford in 2012. I'm still not recovered from it.
Jealous.
Oh my
Jealous.
God. Those were like $150 per person tickets.
Jesus. I would have gladly paid it. I would have gladly paid it.
Oh my God, it was incredible. And like,
oh man,
even my dad, who wasn't super into Pink Floyd like ever, was like, that was an incredible show.
Oh damn.
And like, I have dragged my dad to I think like 3 Marilyn Manson concerts, and he's like, yeah, it's pretty fucking cool.
my dad got to see the Animals tour when it was touring. He got to see a show for the Animals. And for that show too, they still do like basically once they did the Wall and they did like every other album, they kind of just all piled them all into like one kind of show. Yeah. So like they build the Wall while Pulse is happening, while God. You know what I mean? It's like everything's just going on and shit.
Dude, Animals is a really good album. I got to go back and listen to that one again.
One of my dad's favorite concerts he ever went to wasn't really a concert, I'd say. It was just kind of like a little tiny show. My dad worked on a merchant marine ship, and he was docked at Nolens for Mardi Gras.
Ooh, nice.
And there were just a bunch of music tents set up everywhere. Like, there was like a full music festival going on at that time. And everybody was crowded into one, so my dad just kind of went to this other one where a bunch of people were crowded around this little guy with a hat down, playing electric guitar, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh, no shit.
So my dad saw Stevie Ray Vaughan in Mardi Gras. But some of my dad's favorite shows ever was seeing Clapton in '08. He got to go see Clapton he took my mom for their anniversary, which I thought was really cool. It was an anniversary gift from his sister. They also saw Peter Frampton.
Oh, yeah.
Which would have been a really cool show. And then I just recently took my dad in 2018 to go see the Dead Tribute Dark Star Orchestra, the touring one, over at Bull Point Park in Providence. And then I also took my buddy Tom Knox to see his first Dead show with them in November in Providence at the Strand, which is a really fun venue.
Oh, I think I've been to the Strand.
Oh yeah, and it was also really funny because as I'm standing there, I notice and I see a student from Rick's, like an adult student from when I was at the music school, being like, "Oh, hey, you're a fucking Deadhead too? Love it, awesome."
So real quick, we just hit 107 for me.
Yep.
How is your audio doing? Are you gonna cut out soon?
My audio's doing fine.
Okay.
Now that I have power.
Okay.
Like direct power.
I just don't want the clips to split up again, because then we lose like 5 minutes of footage or something.
Oh man, I don't think that'll happen.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna wrap up soon, but now that we're on this roll, the year was, I don't remember when. I think it was in like middle school.
The year was 2006, and I
was in Dick's Sporting Goods with my mother.
As you would.
As I would. And Black Dog by Led Zeppelin was playing.
Oh, yeah.
And this was when I was in when I was in middle school, I was like hella militant with classic rock and like old school like hard rock, where that was the only thing that I listened to, and if it wasn't that, it was fucking garbage. And looking back, and I'm like, that's such a shitty personality. But so I loved Led Zeppelin. And I turned to my mom and like, "Hey mom, who is this?" Like just kind of like being a dick or like joking around. And she goes,
"Yeah,
it's Led Zeppelin. Are you kidding me? I saw them live." And I was like, I froze in the middle of Dick's Sporting Goods with my jaw agape, and I was like, "Say what now?" She's like, "Oh yeah, no yeah, I saw him in the '70s. My brother helped me get a ticket and everything." And so
Jesus.
I looked it up, and it was August 15th, 1970 in the Yale Bowl in New Haven, Connecticut, which I've driven by so many times. And their set list included Immigrant Song, Heartbreaker, Dazed and Confused, Bring It On Home, Since I've Been Loving You, What Is and What Should Never Be, Moby Dick, Whole Lotta Love medley, Communication Breakdown medley, including Good Times, Bad Times.
Jesus Christ.
Like, when did Led Zeppelin 2 come out? 1970. So this was like right after Led Zeppelin 2 came out, which is peak, honestly, in my opinion, peak Led Zeppelin. Like, their first two albums are incredible.
My favorites are actually Zeppelin 4 and In Through the Outdoor, actually.
Wow, that's a hot take. I do like some In Through the Outdoor stuff, but it's not like my favorite.
Fool in the Rain.
Fool in the Rain's a fun one.
Carousel, the whole Carousel Alhambra took up a second side. Oh, dude, that was great.
But then, so at one point, my dad was saying, or no, one of my very good friends in middle school. This also ties back to my friend Brendan Callery, who I used to jam with. Our friend Zach, great kid, loved the kid to death. We were in a band in middle school. They were neighbors, so like we'd always hang out. And my friend Zach's dad was like super cool, super into music. I would jam with this guy for like 3 hours. I'd go over to my friend's house to sleep over for like on a Saturday night. I would jam with his dad for like 2 hours and then be like, all right, I'll come play video games with you after. But he was telling me, he was like, yeah, you know, I saw Eric Clapton in New Haven, Connecticut.
Jesus.
And it was funny because he played the song Let It Rain and it was raining out. And then like a year and a half, 2 years later, my dad was like, yeah, I saw Eric Clapton at the Yale Bowl in New Haven and it was raining out. And I was like, yo, you were at the same fucking concert as my friend's dad.
That's awesome.
So that was pretty cool.
I'm trying to remember the show that they did at let me see if I can look it up. That I took my dad to go see Dark Star.
Yeah.
Because what's really cool about Dark Star Orchestra is they for some shows they would recreate old or dead shows, like dead set lists, because every set list was different. So I want to see if I can go ahead and find like their set list from that day, because what was funny is that my dad turned to me like in the middle of the show that they were playing and went, I was at that show.
That's so cool.
So let me go back and see if I can find it.
Yeah, it's totally crazy. Like, I know my dad and my mom went and saw Tommy Two-Tone of 8675309 fame.
Yep.
Honestly, one of my favorite songs ever.
Oh, that's great. That's actually awesome.
And it was again, because again, like I was playing it, my dad was like, "Oh yeah, no, your mother and I saw them," and I was like, why did you go see Tommy Two-Tone? Like, what the hell?
Yep. So they actually recreated the show. So it was August 5th. They actually have records of all their set lists. They had so what they did was on the 5th, they did a full Dead show, which was actually from August 4th, 1982. So the set list was set 1, Feel Like a Stranger, Friend of the Devil into CC Rider, Brown Eyed Women, Mama Tried into Mexicali Blues, Road Jimmy into Looks Like Rain, Stagger Lee, The Promised Land. Set 2 was Never Trust a Woman, Estimated Profit into Terrapin Station, into The Jam, into A Drums Space, Not Fade Away, Black Peter, Around and Around, Good Lovin'. So the whole second set was basically one long just jam of just a bunch of songs. And then their encore was US Blues. So if there's any other deadheads out there that like that and want to redo it again. So,
all right. So on that note,
wicked cool.
We just hit 1:14, which is our longest
An hour
episode.
14, you mean?
Oh yeah, hour.
Yeah.
You know, I'm drinking a 1.5 liter bottle of Yellowtail Pinot Noir. So
amen, you should.
As I should, but so I think we should probably dial it down now. Wrap it up.
Yeah, let's call it I'm ready to just call it, because I'm ready to call it time of death.
Let me tell you, yesterday's episode and today's episode, I've really enjoyed them. I feel like we've just had a good a
good vibe and a good talk.
We've just been going for it. So
yeah, I feel like today's also that same way.
100%. So thank you everyone listening. I know before we had 11 views on our YouTube for episode 7, which it's 11 views, but it's still decent. So thanks for everyone listening.
If I had a nickel for every view we got on YouTube, I'd have 55 cents.
Oh my god.
Oh wow, almost $1.
Can almost go buy myself a gumball down at the
I can go to the
store.
corner store and get 5 bazooka bubble gums for a penny.
I can go down to the 5 and dime and get myself a dime.
I remember when a hooker cost a whole buffalo nickel. And she would do anything, son. She'd suck and fuck and, all for just a buffalo nickel.
All right,
that's what kept it in circulation for so long, is that and the wheat penny. The wheat penny was used in a lot of young soldiers' reefer cases.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what kept the wheat penny business going.
So
I remember good old wheat penny. He was a nice, fine old man.
So before Richie's Alzheimer's gets the best of him, I think we're going to call it.
Where am I?
Thank you, everyone, for listening. I know we didn't really get, too much into Corona Bologna, but, it's kind of our show. We're having fun. We hope you have fun, too.
It's a show, having fun.
Again, like our good friend Adam Fry said, he feels like he's hanging out with us and we're just shooting the shit. And I think that is what we should go for moving forward. Just, we're hanging out, we're talking. Hopefully, people who listen makes them feel a little bit more included when we're in this term of social
I'll find some great poetry to recite.
Yeah, dude, let's do it. So, thank you everyone once again. This has been episode 8 of Socially Distant. You're the best. We appreciate you listening. Stay cool, stay safe, and as always, stay socially distant.
Stay socially distant.
And eat ass. I mean, if that's what you're into, go for it.
You can you virtually eat ass.
You do what you do what you do.
You do you, boo.
All right, guys. Have a good afternoon. Have a good night. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.